Hello students, here is Ashu Gupta, Assistant Professor. Again welcomes you all on the behalf of the Indraprasth Law College. Today we are going to discuss about the rights and duties arising out of state succession. We have already know about the basic provisions of state succession, which is already discussed in the previous lectures, but here we are going to discuss rights and duties regarding that state succession. If we talk about that topic, the laws regarding state succession are still in a very nascent stage and keeps evolving with the changing times. As seen, the theories of the state succession along with the territorial and power transfer, there are transfers with regard to duties too. This section gives a brief idea about the transfer and non-transfer of political as well as non-political rights and duties. Firstly, we talk about the political rights and duties, which is number 1, no succession takes place with regard to political rights and duties of the state. Number 2, the peace treaties or the treaties of neutrality entered into by the previous state aren't binding on the new state. But the only exception here in this case of human rights treaties, since it would be desirable for the new state to adhere to such terms. Other than this, the new state would have to enter into new political treaties of its own. And with these political rights and duties, we have to mention the rights of natives or local rights. Unlike the political rights and duties, the local rights of the people do not cede with the succession of the state. These rights refer to the rights such as property rights, land rights, or rights relating to railways, roads, or water, etc. In cases like these, the succeeding states are bound by the duties, obligations, and rights of the extincting states. And in case of public debts or fiscal debts, these refer to the financial obligations or debts of the predecessor state. The successor state is bound to pay back the debts of predecessor state. This is because if the new state is enjoying the benefits of the loans, it becomes a moral obligation as well to pay back the money. Next, if there is a split in the state, then the entire debt amount gets divided between the predecessor and successor state in accordance with the territory and population of each. When we talk about the rights and duties of the state succession, regarding the state succession, there is also a provision which hardly talk, but we talk in this session about the effect of state succession on the treaties. The law on state succession with regard to the treaties has for a long time been dominated by two principles. First is the alleged principle of universal succession, and the other is clean state doctrine, not granting state succession to treaties. While the former principle keeps in mind the interest of third states regarding upholding or not upholding treaties, the latter favors a rather strict understanding of sovereignty, that is, functions only according to the interest of the successor or predecessor state. Neither of the two principles can, however, offer a practical solution for various scenarios where estate succession takes place. And accordingly, under customary international law, more non-solutions have been developed in the past, or at the least are in the process of being formed. And the Vienna Convention on the Estate Succession provides that in case of the border treaties, no such significant changes would be observed and the treaties would pass to the successor state. And this is done keeping in mind the greater interests of international community. Similarly, other forms of local treaties related to land, territory, etc. would also pass on to the successor state upon succession. Treaties relating to human rights are passed on to the successors with all their rights, duties, and obligations. And in the cases of treaties relating to peace or neutrality, no succession takes place. And if we have concluded in regard to that rights and duties of the state succession, it can be very well inferred that the law needs a lot more evolution and clarity. Even though lately it has been seen that there has been some consensus on certain levels, and that succession doesn't necessarily lead to disruption in all legal practices and methods. So there is a lot more work that needs to be done in this field. So this is the basic concepts behind the rights and duties of the estate succession, arising out of estate succession, which is covered under some provisions regarding the political rights and their duties, rights of natives or local rights, fiscal debts or the public debts, or the effect on estate succession on the treaties. In accordance with the Vienna Convention on Estate Succession, which is already discussed in this lecture and explained by me very well, hope you will entertain the whole session and enumerated it into your study and be benefited from it. And for the previous lectures, you may search it on this lecture series, which will be very helpful for your examinations. We will meet soon again in the next lecture. Thank you very much.